Well, hi guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry. And as you see, we're going back out to the garden. I know it's been less than a week, but I think it's really important that I bring you along for the progress, just in case one of you might want to duplicate what I'm doing before it's too late for your area. I'm experimenting with some straw bale gardening, and I'm super excited about this, and I'll explain why while I'm out there, and I'll tell you what I've done so far, because you do need to condition your bales for a couple of weeks. I'm going to post in the description box a link to the best-selling book on straw bale gardening, and I've watched videos on this technique and read up on this and done a lot of research over the winter on what we could do, and decided that I was going to start small, and then next year, depending on the outcome this year, we'll see what we do. So we're going to do that. I've also got a couple of tips for you just in case you're going to have bad weather, and this is another reason why I'm bringing you along right now, because we're scheduled for some really turbulent weather, some rain and cold temperatures at night, and so I'm having to scramble, and I really probably don't want to bring you out there while it's pouring down rain. So let's go out there while it's still nice and sunny, and I can show you what I've done so far, and you can see my little garden come along step by step. All right, guys, come on. Okay, we're going to start over here. This raised bed here, I just uploaded a video this morning about the sealer that I'm using on this wood, and I've got to finish that up too before the storms get here. But this bed, we're going to plant grapevines on each end, and we've got rhubarb, and there's another rhubarb root that hasn't appeared yet, but it's in there, and if it doesn't come up, then I'll do another cutting off of one of my plants. Some flowers, and those are marigolds, so they're going to keep all the bugs away, I hope. And then all along here are my green beans, and when I finish the pergola, I'll put my trellises up for that. So I am super excited. I still have a bunch of plants in here, in this tomato plants. Oh my goodness. I think all in all we're going to have almost 35 maybe. Not sure. Okay, and I have added, look how pretty that is. That's just beautiful. I've added some basil, some Italian basil in there. And we've got thyme and rosemary and a spicy oregano, and there's beans coming up, and the sage is just doing great. Trees are doing good. Berry bushes. I think it's key to keep the birds off of your berries, to have water available somewhere in the yard. And we have this tub out here for the dogs when they get really hot playing, or, you know, just a hot day. They jump right in and cool off. So they're used to that from the field trials that are in the warm months of the spring. So the girls are out there. Okay, so here's my straw bale garden. Well, part of it, and I chose to do it this way. I've got 2 bales in this garden bed and 2 in my larger garden bed. And what you have to do, and what I've done already, because we're at day 4, you purchase your bales, and I'm going to go ahead and get in there. You want to turn them on their sides, so the string is on the outsides, okay? But you're going to notice when you turn these, and it's hard to see, but when you turn these, one side is going to look like straws with the openings, just like that. And the other side, these will be more folded, kind of like that on the bottom side. You want the straw side up, if that makes sense. And then you're going to pour down about a cup of nitrogen. Now, I used blood meal, and I also used some of dirt out of the bottom of my chicken's pen. It's hot, nitrogen-rich manure, and that's what you want. You're going to heat these bales up, and you're going to water them daily. So you're going to put this on day 1, day 3, and follow the instructions in the straw bale gardening book. And by 2 weeks, this turns the inside of this bale, brings it up to, you know, a really warm temperature that's critical for this time of year, and it gives you a nice warm bed. So for tomatoes and, you know, plants that are sensitive about having the ground warm, this is perfect. So I've got that.
on either side, I've planted spaghetti squash. These are all the raspberries, the new raspberry canes that I put in. And I put 5 blackberry bushes back there, which I probably will have to move them, but for now that's where they're staying. And I've got some cabbage in down here. I don't know if you can see it. I've got some cucumbers that have come up, and over here too. I'm going to thin those out, and all the raspberries, and I planted some pretty flowers in between to give it color, and again to keep those bugs down. We don't have a huge amount of problems, but let's go over to the big bed. So on my way over, I'll show you my cabbage and kale. It's doing fantastic. I've actually picked a few kale leaves and put them in salad, and they're delicious even this early on. And these should start trying to make a cabbage head pretty quick. Okay, and I've got my parsley in that hanging basket. I've got peppers. Look at that. Jalapeno. And there we go. My rhubarb, just in a few days, man, it just blooms right back out into this big plant. I also put some flowers down there and kale. And then you can see off my cutting, there's a little rhubarb popping up. Yay, rhubarb. 2 little leaves. It's so cute. And that was just cutting off that root. And so I'm expecting this one to pop up any day. And then I'm going to bring you out here and show you what I've done. A lot of you are familiar with walls of water. And our garden center, the one that I trust and go to, recommends that you put the walls of water in, you put your cage in, and leave it there all season. And I've never done that. I've always teepeed the walls of water, and when they pop up out of there, go ahead and cage them. And then after they've come up out of that and they're in the cage support, take the water off. But I'm going to do it the way they recommend this year. They're saying leave the water in there for the whole season. It keeps the ground warm, and you tend to get a little bit longer cycle out of your tomato plants. We'll see. So we're going to have some temperatures that may dip down, and I don't want anybody shocked because of it. So I've created a hothouse. I wrapped all of these, and I'm not done putting tomato plants in, but I wrapped them all with cellophane. So for an $8 roll of cellophane, some cling wrap, stretch tight, I wrap all the way around, make sure that it's all sealed, and it takes a little bit. And then I've left a hole in here to water and whatnot, but I'm not kidding. I've watered now. I only am watering once a week, so I watered it, and it's like a little sauna in there. It's absolutely fantastic, and the tomatoes are gonna love it. So I'm super excited about this, and this to me is just genius. I mean, why not? I've done this on a smaller scale, and I'll show you just a second. Here's my other bales, and I haven't really decided what I'm going to plant on them, but this is my theory on this. I wanted a new raised bed, but it was going to be expensive. The one I wanted was wood, and I wanted it waist height and a nice deep planting area, and that's all you get is that steep planting area. And then you got to buy the dirt and the compost and the planting materials that you want in there, and put in some worms and get your micronutrients going. And I decided this was such a great idea. And the one thing I like the most is, okay, so I've got that square footage that's on the ground. Yes, I'm going to plant on that, but you can also plant on all sides. So I can put herbs on the side of this, or flowers. Tomatoes do really well. If you're going to do tomatoes, 2, maybe 3 plants, but 2 plants is perfect. And then you can plant basil all around them, or I plan to do a lot of carrots with the tomatoes because that's a companion food for them. And then in this little hothouse, and all that is a repurposed, flimsy, old tomato cage. I decided to get all new heavy-duty tomato cages this year, and so the ones that are, that we're going to toss or sell at a garage sale, I thought, well, why not cut them off a little shorter And I do the same thing for my seedlings that I put right in the ground. And in that little one is a zucchini. So I've got zucchini in there that's waiting to pop up out of the ground, and I think this is just going to be wonderful. So there's my straw bale garden. I've still got a ton of tomato plants to put in here, but I just wanted to bring you guys along just in case you were interested in the straw bale gardening. You condition the bale for 2 weeks, and then you have this beautiful compost matter inside the straw bale with no weeds. And at the end of the season, I believe you can get 2 seasons out of these, but let's say it breaks down too much over the summer. At the end of the season, you break it up, you let it winter over on the ground, and you work it into your ground as a fantastic compost, or you put it in your compost pile and let it break down even further. So there you go. That's my little experiment for this year, and I'm just loving it. I'm loving all the color and waiting for new and great adventures in the garden. So I hope this inspires you. You guys try something new this year. Experiment a little bit, because what do you have to lose other than a little bit of time and tranquil peace in the garden? All right. I can't wait to see you next time. As always, I hope you're a subscriber. If not, hit subscribe. And if you like this video, share it on your Facebook page. And go visit me on mine. All right. See you next time.